The Weeks Ahead trailer for Dune Prophecy has been released online, and it gives us a look at what we are going to be getting with the next few episodes from the Max series set in Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe. Episode 1 was a decent episode that left us on a shocking twist surrounding the character of Desmond Hart, so we go into the next episodes wondering what could happen. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my breakdown for the Dune Prophecy Weeks Ahead trailer, alongside my predictions and theories for what's to come. The trailer will be linked in the description of this video if you haven't seen it already. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my future content surrounding Dune Prophecy, Dune Messiah and beyond, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's dive into my trailer breakdown for the weeks ahead on Dune Prophecy. So the new Weeks Ahead trailer for Dune Prophecy hints at more surrounding the intriguing dual timeline with Emily Watson's Valia and Olivia Williams' Tula Harkonnen. It further highlights that Desmond Hart will become more and more of a problem for the sisterhood as he continues to manipulate the Emperor against them. And it seems like the next few episodes are going to show Valia's issues with her own house, as she seems to be having disputes with the Harkonnens. But despite facing these challenges from opposing forces, the trailer also indicates that Valia and her fellow sisters will strive to tap into the potent abilities of the Water of Life. So with intriguing narrative points on the way, it's time to dive into everything that was shown in this newest trailer. Starting with the biggest talking point from the end of episode 1, the new trailer builds on everything we saw surrounding Travis Fimmel's Desmond Hart, giving us an idea of what he's going to be doing in his aims to take down the sisterhood. Now of course, at the conclusion of the opening episode, we discovered that he was the only one to survive an assault on Arrakis, managing to be somehow reborn after a devastating sandworm attack. He journeyed back to Salusa Secundus, the ancestral home of the Imperial family, with his sights set on the sisterhood. By the conclusion of the episode, it appears that he used mental abilities to burn the young boy Pruitt from the inside out. And a similar fate came for Tasha on the sisterhood planet of Wallach 9, leaving us all in a state of confusion. In the new Weeks Ahead trailer, we get footage of him telling Emperor Javico Carino to open his eyes and that the sisterhood has him so blinded that he can't see the truth. He then tells a council that there are predators in their midst and that a hard line must be drawn. This is then followed by him once again holding his head and members of the council burned to death from the inside out for everyone to see. So this is exactly what happens to Pruitt and Kasha at the end of episode 1. We then get a sense of his effect on others as Valia talks about going up against something more powerful than they are, that is counting their every move, and that Carino is slipping through their grasp. And the final bit of footage that refers to Desmond involves a meeting between him and Valia, where he tells her that he always wondered what the sisterhood's greatest fear could be, and now he has seen it. This is immediately followed by another sister burning, making us once again think about the burning truth prophecy. So with all this new footage in mind, it's now time to discuss theories on the character of Desmond Hart, a figure that does not appear in any of the Dune novels, and one that has caused quite the confusion. To begin with, one intriguing theory that has emerged is the possibility that Desmond is a Ghola, a genetically engineered clone crafted by the Tleilaxu. While the Tleilaxu are significant players in the books, their background has yet to be explored in any of the recent adaptations. Additionally, with Denis Villeneuve planning to adapt Dune Messiah as his next project, it makes sense because that story predominantly features a Tleilaxu character. So it could seem plausible that Prophecy is laying the groundwork to familiarise viewers with the Gholas. The Tleilaxu civilization was at the forefront of genetic engineering and organic enhancement, with their most significant impact being the creation of Gholas. These clones can be crafted to resemble individuals who have passed away, all while maintaining an inherent loyalty to the Tleilaxu or to other factions. Interestingly, Gholas can occasionally break free from their programming or access memories encoded in their DNA, particularly when exposed to spice. Desmond may be unaware of his identity as a Ghola, and his recollection of surviving his escape from Arrakis may be clouded. So the concept of him being a Ghola could clarify the mystery surrounding his supposed death. If the Tleilaxu managed to retrieve his DNA, they could have produced a Ghola and dispatched it to the Emperor for their own plans of manipulation. And not to mention that the title of Dune Prophecy Episode 4 has been revealed to be called Twice Born, maybe referring to this theory of him actually being a Ghola. As a whole, I really like this theory, and the only thing that makes me hesitant on it is the burning ability we see at the end of the episode. I guess you could argue that maybe this is actually Desmond's former memories reacting to the pain he's caused rather than it being an ability. And maybe he's caused this burning through using another method like poisoning. That could be why Desmond reacts the way he does when he touches his head. Maybe he's not using abilities, and rather the memories of the real Desmond Hart, or whatever he was called before, is fighting the pain his new self is causing. It's definitely a weird one to grapple with, and at this point, we'll just have to see if we get any more hints that could suggest that Desmond is a Ghola. But moving on, another popular theory is that he could be affiliated with the Butlerians, a faction of fervent anti-technology advocates. They are determined to eradicate all forms of advanced technology to thwart the resurgence of artificial intelligence, often rejecting even basic advancements. While they play a significant role in the books, none of the prominent Butlerian figures have yet made an appearance in this series. Desmond Hart stands out as the character who has talked about the gods, and later in episode 1, we witness Empress Natalia delivering a speech against technology after Pruitt unveils his toy. But again, this doesn't really explain how Desmond murdered Pruitt and Kasha, making me think that this theory has less of a chance of being true. Something to note though is that Desmond mentions to the Emperor that there are those who think machines were discarded too quickly. Later on, he returns Pruitt's robot toy and says to him that the Sisterhood might be attempting to dominate humanity in a manner similar to how the machines once did. So this raises the possibility that he could have ulterior motives, perhaps aiming to restore sentient machines. In the realm of technology from the era of thinking machines, there are numerous details yet to be explored, and Desmond's character may have ties to that period. So it's hard to put our finger on it at this point, but I will be looking out for more clues to decide whether he's for or against that technology, as I think that might give us a better idea of what or who he actually is. The final theory that I have is one that I can't believe I didn't mention in my breakdown for episode 1, and that is that Desmond might actually be a face dancer. Now, this is another thing that connects to Dune Messiah, as we know that one of Paul Atreides' central antagonists in that story is the character Scytale, a face dancer of the Bene Tleilaxu. Now, we know that Kasha had issues truth-saying Desmond, and that could be a hint that the eyes he has are not his own. There's also big references towards eyes in the series so far, with a lot of the visions including imagery of eyes, the room that the Emperor watches the sandworm footage in being shaped like an eye, and footage from the new trailer showing Desmond once again burning people and the camera zooming right into his eye. I can definitely understand why people like this theory, especially with Kasha's comment and all of that eye imagery, but to be honest, I think that links in better with the Ghola theory. He seems to twitch at times, and he definitely looks like he was in pain after he killed Pruitt, so this could suggest that he's a prototype of a Ghola. We know that a certain Ghola in Dune Messiah is the first one with metallic eyes, and all other iterations have organic ones. So there's a chance that this is more linked to that, and it would again explain why Desmond has reacted the way he has to the deaths in the first episode. He told the Emperor that the assault on Arrakis had transformed him, leaving him yearning to numb his emotions. Yet on the flip side, he appeared to grapple with the anguish of taking the boy's life. Also, he specifically uses the word reborn when talking about himself with the Emperor. So I think out of any of these theories, the Ghola one is the one that links the most to what we could be seeing. Now, of course, there's still things that don't add up, and my current explanation for the burning at the end is that we saw some kind of poisoning, like with the timed one on Thufir Hawat in the first Dune book. So regardless of what he eventually does turn out to be, like I said in my episode 1 breakdown, I think Desmond Hart is going to play a crucial role in transforming the Bene Gesserit into the formidable organisation that they are destined to become. And I think he might be the reason why the Sisterhood ban having male heirs in regards to the Kwisatz Haderach prophecy. I think their focus on building towards that prophecy will be much clearer by the end of the show, and I think their conflict with Desmond will lead them in that direction. I did say in my episode 1 breakdown that I think the Kwisatz Haderach prophecy is actually similar in many ways to what we saw in Visions for the Burning Truth one, the vision that both Rakella and Tasha had. So I think that all roads lead towards that, and eventually I think we're going to get a clearer idea of what effect it has on the Sisterhood going forward. Moving on, the new trailer also gives us a bit more on House Harkonnen, and in particular, it shows the issues that Valia has with them, following on from what we saw in episode 1. We get both flashback footage and scenes from the present timeline that showcase Valia's feud with her own house, telling them that they should be leaders of the Imperium and that their complacency is a disease. Within this, we get an introduction to Mark Addy's character, Evgeny Harkonnen, and he is known as Valia and Tula's uncle, a once powerful member of the now banished house, and someone who hints at the family's eventual fate in the Dune films. Evgeny blames Valia for the family's fall from grace, and we see that in the later footage, Valia sees them as the true issue. But while she seems to fall out with many members of her own house, there is one Harkonnen who she seems to be more friendly with, or at the very least, using for her own advantage. The older version of Valia speaks to Harrow Harkonnen, a rising politician who also wants to bring the Harkonnens back to their former glory. She tells him that while the past branded their house, the future can redefine them, somewhat planning to re-establish Harkonnen power. While we presume that Valia does not want this to happen, we do see her at the end of the promo telling Evgeny that all the Harkonnens are cowards and she will not apologise for her strength. So it seems like those issues are going to remain throughout the series, and Valia is going to be up against more than just other forces within the Imperium. Looking back on the book's history, it's clear that an Atreides once exiled a Harkonnen for cowardice following the Battle of Corrin. That's pretty much all Frank Herbert said on this aspect, leaving us in the dark about the full story behind their act of cowardice. So maybe this will link into the feud between the Harkonnens. It will be intriguing to find out all of that history, especially as we are going to be continuing to cut back and forth in time throughout the coming episodes. The final aspect that I wanted to talk about from the new trailer was what we saw surrounding the Water of Life footage. We see Tula Harkonnen and another sister telling Sister Tleila that they need her and proceed to put her through the Water of Life ceremony. In the previous episode, Tula argued to Valia that Tleila was a strong candidate to be their choice as a sister that would be close to Princess Yanez. Now, there's no footage of Yanez and Tleila being together, and it looks like the princess is going to be busy spending time with Kieran Atreides, fighting back against the forces that Desmond is now in charge of. So maybe the Sisterhood feel like their back is against the wall, and they need to counter that threat of Desmond with something more powerful. If a sister achieves success with the Water of Life, the process heightens their awareness to such an extent that it can awaken their genetic memory, revealing numerous secrets of the Sisterhood. In the series, their answer seems to be putting Tleila through the Water of Life ceremony, and we see footage of her in that process, reminding us of the ordeal Lady Jessica went through in Dune Part 2. So maybe this series is set to explore the origins of that ritual that eventually evolves into a fundamental practice for the Bene Gesserit, transforming a sister into a reverend mother. I really like this prospect, as what we saw with the voice in episode 1 didn't just become a cool moment for the series, but rather it served the narrative of the Sisterhood and their transformation. It looks like the Water of Life is going to be an even bigger narrative point come the next few episodes, and like I said, you'd expect that Tleila would become a reverend mother, used to fight back against Desmond Hart and whatever abilities he possesses. But that was my video breaking down the trailer promo for Dune Prophecy. I will be covering the second episode next week here on the channel and breaking down the trailer for episode 3, so stay tuned for more on the Dune series. But if you've seen the Weeks Ahead trailer, let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of all the new footage and what you think might happen in the next episode. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.